Mtazamaji, karibu katika taarifa zetu. Hivi leo
Hivi. Teaching is not a calling. Yes. Teaching is a profession. Power. Let the government respect teachers. Yes. Do not treat teachers like beggars. Yes. Hauwezi enda interview mara 3-4 na upati promotion. Yes. Unafundisha mtoto, anaenda anakuwa mwalimu, anarudi anakupata job group C3. Huyo mtoto anakupita, anakuwa deputy, wewe bado uko C3. Jameni, tulikosea wapi? Heshimu kwa walimu.
We as teachers, we are a strong team, and we do a lot of work to the children at home. If we are not there, you tell these children 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 22, 3 + 3, 33. And that is the work we do in school, so that we change the children of this country. Apparently the leaders of this country don't want to listen to the teachers. We have abandoned the children. Wafunzo na nani huko?
Walimu wamepinga ongezeko la ushuru wakisema malipo yao yamepungua kwa kiasi kikubwa. Walisema kwamba makato ya hivi karibuni kwa Mamlaka ya Afya ya Jamii yamezidisha hali hiyo. Mwalimu katika Kundi la Ajira C3, mwenye mshahara wa kimsingi wa $59,084 anastahili posho ya nyumba ya $16,500 na shilingi za Kenya 6,000 za malipo ya abiria. Mwalimu huyu anatarajiwa kutoa shilingi za Kenya 81,584. Maurice Odhiambo, mwalimu jijini Nairobi, alikosoa makato mapya ya SHA ya 2.27% ya mshahara wa jumla, akisema wanalemewa na msukumo wa serikali kukusanya makato kwenye payslips day in, day out. Hivi majuzi tulipitisha makato mengine ya 0.15% ili kufadhili ujenzi wa nyumba za bei nafuu. Tunasongwa na serikali ile tuliotarajia mema kutoka kwayo, alisema. James Kutuni, mwalimu mwingine kutoka Kericho, alisema ongezeko la karo linafanya iwe vigumu kwa walimu kudumisha maisha bora. Ni wakati wa kuachana na dhana iliyopitwa na wakati kwamba wafanyikazi wanapaswa kubeba mzigo wa majukumu ya kifedha ya taifa letu. Mfumo wetu wa sasa wa ushuru ni masalio ambayo yanaadhibu kwa njia isiyo sawa watu ambao wanasimamia uchumi wetu, alisema.
True, there is a joint strike notice released by KNUT, Kenya Union of Teachers, and KUPPET for the 26th of August this year. That means that schools will not open. And this, what you are calling a rare unity between ourselves, is because the teachers of Kenya, who have been very calm, have been called out and incited to actually down their tools. The genesis of this begins with the long journey of CBS, collective bargaining agreements. For those who have been around for a little longer, like Janet here, the teachers would go on strike every year at the end of the year, in December when exams are on. To solve that problem, we decided to leave the issue of signing legal notices with the government and adopted collective bargaining agreements, which are allowed in law. And therefore, we were able to rest the issue of ever teachers going on strike every year. Sometimes last year, the government of Kenya introduced what was calling the housing levy. I was called upon to lead the teachers to go and negotiate with the president whether the teachers would be deducted the housing levy. You remember it was a very hot topic. The teachers were against it and they wanted to go on strike. I carried all the teachers to a meeting where they met the president. And I told the president that for the first time, you're the first president who wants to get money from the teachers' pockets. That Kenyatta gave teachers salaries, and Moi gave the celebrated Adongo deal, while Kibaki gave the harmonized deal. And Uhuru gave the 54 billion CBA. But for the president, he wanted to get something out of the teachers' pockets. After long deliberations, we agreed that if the housing levy would go on, the teachers would have to sign a CBA to make sure that they are compensated for what they were going to lose. So in fact, the CBA we are dealing with is a compensation. I have to say it correctly because I'm the lead hand over there. So indeed, we went forward and the teachers signed a CBA with the government of Kenya through Teachers Service Commission. And the CBA was small because ordinarily what the teachers wanted to sign was a CBA of 30 to 70 pay increase. But the one who were given was a paltry 11% and also with a harmonized house allowance. The first phase was paid. The CBA was signed and deposited in court. So we are not only dealing with the CBA, but we are dealing with a court order. Because once you deposit in court, it becomes a court order. So we are dealing with a case of a party going against court contempt, to be brief. Now the second phase was to be paid, and I'm happy Nabina Bwera is here. The matter was taken to Parliament. We had the finance bill, of course, which was dropped. And then we had to do supplementary one. Supplementary one becomes a appropriation bill. And therefore some cuts had to be done. Unfortunate for the teachers of Kenya, who had been very calm throughout the turmoil that used to going on, it is them who are hurt most. It possibly shows it's not good to be good people. It may be good to be bad people.
All right.
So what happened? This story will make you understand this process very well. I'm concluding in the next 1 minute. When we were doing the supplementary one, the Education Committee, where Nabi sits, made an effort to tell the Budget Committee that this money should be fixed in the budget. But when doing the cuts, what did they do? The teachers' second phase, which was amounting to 10 billion, was removed. The teachers' medical cover, which amounts to 20 billion, was reduced by half to 11%. The teachers' promotion, which was there at only a paltry 1 billion, was completely cut. You can look in my eyes.
All right.
What else can the teachers of Kenya do?
What option do they have?
The teachers of Kenya have very little option but to down their tools on the 26th of this month.
All right.
Unless some miracle happens between now and the 26th. I've never been here.
Kutuni alisema kuwa mageuzi ni muhimu na yanatetewa kwa mfumo wa ushuru wa haki ambao hauweke shinikizo kwa watu binafsi walio na mishahara iliyopanuliwa. Tunahitaji kuwa na mfumo unaotuza kazi ngumu, unaochochea uvumbuzi na kuhakikisha kwamba wale wanaovuna tuzo kubwa zaidi wanachangia zaidi, alisema mwenyekiti wa chama cha shule za msingi nchini Kepsha. Steven Nzioka alisema kuanzishwa kwa karo mpya kama vile SHA kumeongeza mzigo wa kifedha kwa walimu. Ni muhimu kuhakikisha mawasiliano ya wazi kuhusu madhumuni na ukokotoaji wa tozo hizi, pamoja na taratibu za kisheria zinazofuatwa kwa utekelezaji wake, alisema.
What does the PFM Act say? The PFM Act is very clear that when there is a pending bill, it becomes a first charge. That's the law. And we argued in the Education Committee that please Parliament, please Budget Committee, and this, can you treat this as a first charge, as a pending bill? And therefore, before we do anything else of development, let's know that we owe. And because we owe, can we provide for it? I wanted to put that into context. Now, do we blame the finance bill for this? My answer is no.
So who do we blame? Because
just listen. Yeah. Just listen. If we agree that this is a first charge, if we agree that this is a pending bill, so in the context of we reduced our budget, and Omboko is here with me, with not more than 250 billion. The reorganized budget. Now, why didn't we put this the way we put for the other critical things? I've always said the mistake we make in this country is putting education number 3 when we are starting to work out finances for the country. I've always argued please stop looking at investment in education from our current point of view. This is what the engine that powers development. And therefore, it should be a program, a development program. If we agree on that, then I'm saying, from where I sit, that there was no justifiable reason not to treat this as a pending bill, a first charge on the PFM Act. If we did that, then we would have found within the monies we have, within the budget we have, we would have found money to pay for this. And we put our argument even on the floor of the House. And therefore, on this, as you've said, if, as a member of Parliament, I hold our institution responsible for this. Parliament is responsible for this.
Alidai kuwa kutanguliza ustawi wa kifedha wa walimu na kutafuta michango yao katika maamuzi yanayohusu malipo yao ni muhimu kwa sekta ya elimu yenye uwiano na tija. Tunaziomba mamlaka husika kushirikisha vyama vya walimu ili kuhakikisha sauti zao zinasikika na matatizo yao yanashughulikiwa kabla ya mabadiliko yoyote kufanywa kwenye karatasi zao za malipo, alisema. Kwa wengi, hii sio tu juu ya nambari kwenye karatasi ya malipo. Walimu wanahisi kutothaminiwa na makato hayo yanazidisha mvutano uliopo. Mary Maina kutoka Kiambu alitoa wito wa kuwepo kwa sera zaidi za ushuru, ikiwa ni pamoja na kuongezwa kwa marupurupu ya kibinafsi na kupunguza viwango vya ushuru kwa watu wa kipato cha chini. Serikali inapaswa kutekeleza mfumo wa ushuru unaoendelea zaidi ambapo watu wa kipato cha juu wanachangia sehemu kubwa ya mapato yao kwenye mkusanyiko wa ushuru, alisema.
That even the technocrats at Treasury had removed the exam money. They had removed. So we said, but we are going into, we already have started preparing exams. So what does Kenya National Examination Council, how do you start asking parents now in that term that bring money? We reinstated a fiat.
Even the school feeding program was an issue. Now we're here, Janet.
Well, I know that we've sat on these platforms for quite a long time, and I do not know that there is any other challenging time such as this one. The education sector is really threatened, and it is threatened by seemingly we are going back to where we were even before we wrote the 2010 Constitution. Education is made to compete with road, with security. You know, for example, Interior Ministry. We can never get here. We can never get here. And Kenyans must just stand up and say, no, we cannot get here. Education cannot compete with certain other sectors. If you listen to conversations when the budget was being passed, and one of the things that really irked me a lot was, for example, the example that the Mwalimu has given, that there is even someone that contemplated to remove exam money from the budget. That should just tell you, I do not know the people that sit in Treasury, their orientation, where they come from, their understanding of things. But we are not going to allow a government that comes in and threatens education to the level that we are seeing right now. What Mwalimu Mboko has explained is a very good background and history of where we have come from. And parents of my age can relate. There's a time that we used to have strikes every opening, you know, every opening. And there's one particular time where exams were actually threatened, that we are going towards national examinations and the teachers were on strike. It's a national security issue. We cannot get there. And we really are pleading with the people that sit in the highest decision-making tables to hear our plea that we cannot threaten education to the level that we are seeing education threatened right now. Taking education and the issues of teachers seriously, we say that he who comes to equity, must come with clean hands. A CBA is almost a sacred document. Yeah. In all honesty. So we cannot begin to violate it and then weigh in, begin calling people for conversations. What other conversations can we have beyond conversations that are above board, recognized by the law? We must first begin by honoring those kinds of conversations, and then we can call people to a certain table. And by so saying, as a parent, and really as somebody who believes in the right of education of every child, my worry is about what happens beyond the August 26th. and we do not want to see this is something that we had worked on. And parents can relate. It's a long time since we saw teachers on strike. It is a good thing, and we do not want to get there. I sit here, and today I'm feeling a little more confident because I have seen conversations happening with the CS for labor. We do not want to see what happened with the medical strike, where industrial action intention is issued, and then everyone sits pretty, waiting and waiting and waiting. Education is so important. Parents cannot stay with children for one week, 2 more weeks, and then you know what will happen? You will call us again here to ask us, are we going to be readjusting the curriculum? Are we going to be extending time? We are not doing our children any justice. What I'm saying is, can this get to the president? I know for sure from where I sit, Nancy Macharia has got nothing to do with this. She's not the owner of money. A million calls to her are not helpful. She's not the owner of money. She's also a beggar to Parliament. Even Parliament is not the owner of money. There is someone sitting somewhere else and holding the strings of Parliament, telling them remove this, remove the other, and this person happens to be the president. Show us your commitment. When you go on rooftops of cars and telling us how you are committed to education, we do not want a lip service to education. We want money. We want you to show us the commitment you have by honoring collective bargaining agreements with teachers, by asking your CS education, your CS labor to sit down with teachers. We've been in this country, and this conversation about there is no money, there is no money, there is no money is now beginning to bite us where it affects us the most. So I think we do not want to see mismanagement.
All right.
Of pre-industrial strike by everyone sitting and waiting for the teachers to go on the streets is when you'll begin calling them here and there. Really, the education of our children is so much important. And really this, I'm speaking to the president directly, and I'm telling him, please, we as parents of this country are feeling like education is being so threatened by your government that we do not know what else to believe.
Maina alitoa wito kwa hatua mahususi za msamaha wa kodi kwa watu wa kipato cha chini, kama vile kuongeza posho za kibinafsi na kupunguza viwango vya kodi kwa watu wanaopata mapato ya chini. Edward Obocha, katibu wa kitaifa wa shule za upili katika muungano wa walimu wa elimu ya baada ya msingi nchini Kenya, alionya kuwa mzigo huo wa karo unahatarisha kuathiri ari ya walimu. Walimu tayari wanatatizika kujikimu na mishahara duni. Mizigo ya ziada ya ushuru itaongeza masaibu yao na kufanya iwe vigumu kwao kufanya kazi na kutoa matokeo, alisema. Obocha alihoji mantiki ya kuwatoza ushuru wakufunzi kwa kufadhili mipango ya makazi na matibabu bila nyongeza ya mishahara ya walimu. Itakuwa na maana kubwa ya kiuchumi ikiwa tozo zilizopendekezwa zingewekwa dhidi ya hali ya nyuma ya nyongeza ya mishahara. Tunafadhili nyumba za nani? Aliweka pozi.
Tafadhali bonyeza alama ya like.